You know I love the clapper. Guess what? I've been sitting in the green room for about 10 minutes with this lovely lady. Look at her. Hi, Sarah. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I was just telling Sarah that when I have a guest on, especially someone that I've been following for a while, I really amp up the game and semi-stalk them the week throughout. And so I pretty much have this ginormous girl crush on Sarah more than I
The
thought was
feeling is
possible.
is is mutual. Appreciate you having me here.
Yes,
Anxious.
I didn't want to have any guests because it's going to be so rich that we just need to have you. There's so many things we're going to talk about: human media, C media, Veterans United, the Hero Tours. You've been doing some really cool things this week, right?
We have, yes. We're a little tired, so have some bags under my eyes, but it's all for a good cause.
It's looking good, definitely. Listen, in case you guys are wondering, what's missing? Throw it in the comments. What do you think is missing from me? Because it's Google, and I turned on my lower third, and no tiara. So I might bust out my fake one. I feel a little weird, so bear with me. But guys, what I'm gonna do is get to the backpack because you know I love you. So are you ready for it? Let's see. Let's see. We've got Dave Pipe. I love how he puts in what he's doing. Arvo from the Sussex Wagon. I love this. He's got his checklist. He's got spicy chicken pizza, coleslaw cashews. I'm starving. Strike six Java juice, Russian spirit, British donuts. My brother, he's ready for you, Sarah.
Great. The spicy chicken pizza, I'm sure, will make my message a little bit more palatable.
That's what I was thinking. Now this is a long one, so please go back and read it. Abdelwad. This I love what she says in this. I know it's too long for you to see, but she goes, this event is more than a success. It's a fruit that symbolizes a strong and absolute joy. And just talking about bringing everybody together. She's the power of internet from her country. So thank you for that. Wish we could do longer comments. Now this is one of my new girl crushes too. This is Esther Rundall, and I met her at ShiftCon. Sending you vibes as you get ready for your show. Must take a lot of work, but this is why I put this up. My son just put a rock in the laundry, so I didn't need to interrupt that situation.
Oh no.
Go, girlfriend. She is wonderful, by the way. This is Emmanuel Yamin. This is his first time, so let's welcome him for his first time on the show. We always love newbies here on the Media Connect Power Chat. My brother Nazim, apparently they're having some flooding problems in Genoa, so hopefully he's able to watch this here. So I'm glad she's here today. And let's see what else. David Kutcher says, Sarah Hill and Mia Voss.
Hey, David Couture. He has helped me out so much.
Has he?
He does great work, and we connected via a help out, so absolutely.
See, power, telling you the power, the help outs and the hangouts. Ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner for Nicholas Cart. I've got him in here somewhere. He says, no tiara. Oh, yep, he guessed it. Your tiara. I feel weird. Let's see if we have Debbie Davis said that the backpack is circling. Good morning, all. Jamal Asi, good to see you, too. And one more is from Catherine. Hey, everybody, she's eating brekkie in front of the computer this morning. So don't you love this about Hangout, Sarah? This is like everybody getting their stuff, their GSD, getting stuff done, and listening or watching Hangouts.
The global confluence of information, and it's great to see and hear all of you. Big high fives to all of you this morning.
I know, right? Everybody like run it through. We need just to run through with our hand through it too. So listen, it's all about you, girlfriend. Like I said, we were going to talk about human media, C media, again, Veterans United. So let's jump in. Let's start where you want to start, and we'll go from there because I'm loving all the connections that you've made between all three of these.
Great, yeah, so two concepts just to introduce if people aren't familiar with human media and then C-commerce as well. Human media is what we are doing right now. We are connecting face-to-face via a video chat platform. The unique thing about Google Plus is that you have a combination of a broadcast tower right in the middle of a social network. So other social networks, they're text-based, right? Twitter and Facebook, we communicate behind avatars and behind profile pictures. But the unique thing about Google Plus and Hangouts is that you have the ability to have a living, breathing human relationship with people. And when Google Plus first came out, a lot of people didn't understand that it wasn't a social media network, just a social media network. It was a human media network where we had the ability to communicate face-to-face, where we had the ability to broadcast, and we also had the ability to create Google Juice for search. So this is an animal unlike any other animal that people are familiar with. Matter of fact, when I do presentations, I show a picture. It's a picture of Lady Gaga, who has a unicorn on her head with a broadcast tower. C-commerce is this way, e-commerce is that way. You know,
Right.
social media and human media, and this great animal that we get to connect. Then when you bring in the layer of e-commerce into video chat, you really have what's called C-commerce, where you are conducting business not via a text-based shopping cart, where you are doing business and receiving services or providing services face-to-face. And that's that new layer of C-commerce that is coming into the fold, and businesses like Veterans United are using that eye contact to develop face-to-face connections. So that's a very short explanation. There's science behind the fact that communicating with people face-to-face is superior than hiding behind an avatar. And we have studies from Cornell University that shows that eye contact increases brand trust by 16%. They actually did a study with cereal boxes. There's also another study out there from the Scientific American that shows that eye contact reduces hostilities online. And you probably see that, Mia.
Yes.
You know, I see that on my stream. Individuals might be kind of snarky in the comments, but you get them in a hangout, and you are, you know, all those hostilities peel away, and all those layers of misunderstanding peel away because I can see the whites of your eyes.
And
There's
definitely. Go ahead.
And there's another study out there about an eye contact gene, and the fact that we as humans crave to see the whites of other people's eyes. And they did a study with monkeys, actually, and found that monkeys are attracted to eyes, and people want to see the whites of their eyes. So that really provides a unique opportunity for brands to come out from behind that logo and interact with their text-based following, not just behind avatars, but face-to-face, having a living, breathing relationship with their customers, and using that to develop then relationships with key influencers to build social capital, to build financial capital, and to increase the value of your connection to fellow human beings.
You know, it's great looking at your title. So you have brand broadcaster on your Veterans United broadcaster. I pulled up the kind of combination. I love this. I put together two, brand broadcaster and chief storyteller, which is great. That's what really this is about. You can connect with people. You can do the private hangouts and then do the hangouts on air. And you're telling a story. And when you tell a story, think about like NPR. Even then, you're hearing it, or the radio. You do want to hear the story that people are talking about. Then you add in the whites of your eyes, the crazy hand motions, and it's fantastic. And I have to tell you, for right now, with it being Mercury in retrograde, I don't know if you get into that or not. We're in the last phase of the last Mercury in retrograde phase. That's when communication goes bonkers. So Hangouts are even better for that, because you can clear up a lot of confusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and help outs, you know, they're seeing it for that, being used for that primary spot as well. And as far as, you know, broadcasters and brands and as broadcasters, you don't need a big, huge metal stick with call letters in the ground anymore to be a broadcaster, right? We have free digital tools. Even a single person brand has the ability to broadcast using the free digital tools that are provided us. If you have a webcam, you have the ability to physically transport yourself into someone else's living room and communicate with them face to face, and then create content that can be shared later on. It's really fascinating to watch how many brands, such as yourself, you know, you're not relying on third parties to tell your story, or you're not relying on TV stations or radio stations to bring you on to do an interview. You are creating your own content, bringing in other key influencers into the conversation, and really creating a synergy that is far deeper than any other social media experience. You know, in social media, we grow our roots of our social media tree horizontally. Yes, it's great to have a large, wide following, but how deeply are we growing those relationships deeply? Because we know, as in a tree, that if you don't have roots, the tree doesn't stand up. That's what human media does, and connecting face-to-face does. We are growing those roots deeply. Because we've hour-long conversation, I am more likely, number one, value your content, Mia. I am more likely to share your content. I am more likely to introduce you to my key influencers. I am more likely to recommend content to others. So the difficulty that we also have with human media is that there's not a human media metric. After this hour-long hangout, there's no way to really measure that value of a human connection, because you can't measure it in a +1 or a tweet or a like on Facebook. Those are text-based measurements. What is the value of us hanging out for an hour? Far greater than just a +1 or a like or anything else. So, you know, I would task some of the researchers out there in the science community, and I reached out to some of them, come up with a human media metric, come up with a way to value this, and then perhaps the outside world might better understand what we're talking about when we say these relationships inside the Hangouts are far deeper than anything you would find out on the text-based stream.
It is tough to, I mean, there's no real algorithm in some ways to measure it except for your own personal experience. I know for myself, I see a lot of the audience connect with one another, then I hear stories later on, and then I hear people recommending either a show or a guest, or they swing you in there. I think there's a couple comments in here too. People have questions on that, because when we're talking about two things too, there's the, like I was saying, the Hangouts on Air, and that's either for brands or the storytelling. And I love the precursor that you can get, which is just doing a Hangout, like, hey, let's jump on a Hangout. And David Amerline talks about that in his Google Semantic Search book of how you're breaking down that barrier, and you can say anything you want, and the text space, like you were saying, then you get in and I can ask you questions one-on-one, or we can get other people piping in on it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's science that shows that the more time that you spend in a relationship, the more likely they are to convert. Right? So if your text-based, relationship with your customers or your future customers is very singular on that text-based platform, and then you jump on a Hangout and you have a longer conversation with them, you are just increasing the likelihood that they will not only do business with you, but continue to do business with you.
Here's a great question. This is from Sherry Mongray, and she says, I know this works, but I work with so many entrepreneurs who don't have the money to invest in good technology to do eyeball-to-eyeball videos or Hangouts. In fact, I even have a hard time and tend to hide behind slides and just talk. Advice: is just a computer webcam really enough? You know my answer to it, but you jump in on it.
Yeah, all you need is a webcam in order to do a Hangout, a webcam and some skills. I will let you know that when we do our broadcasts at Veterans United, we have a TriCaster, we have a production switcher that we're able to bring in different video sources. We have a set. I come from a television background, so those are some things when we produce our Hangouts and our live events that we have those. But do you have to have those? Absolutely not. All you need is the free broadcast tower of YouTube, a webcam, the slides, the lower thirds that are underneath you. This is a free production studio in the middle of a crowdsourcing tool. You have all of the tools that you need, and if perhaps you aren't comfortable with hosting and producing your own Hangout, and you are a rock star and that you are able to do those at the same time. But there are individuals out there who you can hire to do that. Chad Lafarge is a Navy veteran, and we use him a lot to produce some of our Hangouts, only because when we're in studio, we're not only talking to people here, but having Chad to produce those thumbnails and coordinate helps, and test connections helps as well. So can you do it yourself? Absolutely. Look at this lady, who does it every day and finds value in that connection. And as far as the time to do it, not all of your Hangouts have to be Hangouts on air. In fact, not all of your Hangouts have to be Hangouts that you produce and stream publicly on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Hangouts that I do are joining other individuals' Hangouts that are behind the scenes, catching up with people and hearing what's going on in their world. I find that via Hangouts, I'm alerted to industry trends a lot more quickly than any hashtag that you can follow. You open up a Hangout and you invite individuals in to share about what's going on in their corner of the world, and it's like a little coffee shop. So as an answer to your question, it's just a learning curve and just learning how to do it. All you need is a webcam, free digital tools, 15 minutes, and the ability to not be afraid to fail right? On your
Yes.
first one, conduct some behind the scenes, join some others to see how they're done, watch some of Mia's as well, and see how the pros do it.
And thank you for that. I agree, and I'll add in that too. And you guys have heard me. A lot of everybody's drank the Google Plus Kool-Aid, absolutely, and watched the different shows. We love all the different programming. I'll add in too of banging upload speed. I mean, the best thing is really to have this great upload speed. The more tools you can provide for yourself to not be distracted when things go awry is the best one too. But you know, there's so many different, I mean, you embody so many different ways that you use it. You talk to the astronaut, which I thought was so fun. That was one of my favorite things when I was watching it, was you getting to ask this little kid, okay, do you have a question for the astronaut? And you can tell this little kid's like, what? I mean, it just, what a dream thing. And then taking people on the hero tours. I was mentioning in the green room, you know, doing drives, test drives, or broadcasting from a horse, or whatever it is you want to do. But that's always been one of my favorite things. One of the first quotes I read from you is that you're your own broadcast tower. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, and we use it in a variety of ways, and I want to talk about hero tours, but some of the individuals who we've had in a hangout, you know, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, Jon Stewart of The Daily Show, Jeremy Lin of the Linsanity basketball craze, all of those individuals who we probably in person might not have received 15 minutes, but we were able to bring them in via Hangout and then allow other veterans to have a relationship with them. So that's how we're using it as a free broadcast stick and as a free relationship builder. So you mentioned hero tours. One of the things we do at Veterans United, our core business is home loans. We help veterans get in homes and help them learn how to navigate the VA process in order to use their VA benefit to purchase a house. Veterans United is also the Veterans United Foundation, an employee-funded group that donates millions of dollars to veterans and military families. We're Veterans United really as well, and so under the umbrella of Veterans United, those are the many things and many different things that we do storytelling for and video and live broadcasts for. But Hero Tours is an endeavor that we started probably about a year ago, when we learned that there are veterans out there who were not able to physically travel on honor flights to see their memorial. Honor Flight is an organization that we founded about 5 years ago that provides physical flights to Washington, free flights to Washington, D.C., and free experiences for these terminally ill and aging World War II veterans to see their memorial. Sadly, we are losing our World War II veterans at a rate of 500 a day nationwide. So most of these men and women, even though the World War II memorial sadly was built too late for them because they won't live long enough to see it. So there's this huge impetus to get these veterans on honor flights, free honor flights, to see their memorials. Sadly, what we were finding is that a lot of these veterans weren't able to leave their hospital bed or their assisted living center or even their home. Perhaps they're on too much oxygen. Perhaps their lungs aren't able to handle the physical pressure of a flight. And so we needed an alternative, and our alternative was Hero Tours. So what we do is we open up a hangout by a veteran at his bedside or in his hospital room or assisted living center, and then we have videographers. We just did a tour from the 9/11 memorial in New York on 9/11, but videographers all throughout the nation, and we partner with virtual photo walks, and they are they've been at the Korean Memorial, the World War II Memorial, the Vietnam Wall, the 9/11 Memorial, and any other sites. We even took a D-Day veteran back to the beaches of Normandy, France. Hangout. He was able to see and hear the sound of the waves in France via Hangout from his hospital bed. So these experiences are really important because it's not just playing a DVD for the veteran and saying this is their memorial. It is allowing them to feel like they've been there in a sense and have closure for all of those individuals that they lost during the war. That's a human media experience.
That is. That's the meaning of it, Sarah.
Yeah, and they are able to interact live in real time. And not only that, we recently did a live streaming event from the Pacific Naval Museum and Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and their anniversary events. We had Pearl Harbor survivors even in Jefferson City that weren't able to physically travel to Hawaii year of that anniversary. But via Human Media and Hangouts, we were able to take them there, and they were able to experience that event live in real time. And when someone asked them, hey, did you ever have a chance to see your memorial? They were able to say, yes, someone took the time to come to me and take us there. And so we are just encouraging any veterans within the sound of my voice and any civilians out there who know of any veterans who have yet to see their memorial to let us know. Email me, sarah.hill@veteransunited.com. That's Sarah with an H, Sarah. And let us know who they are and where they are, and we will work to get them a virtual tour. The priority is to get these men and women on honor flights, so we would encourage you to go to honorflight.org if they are physically able to travel. If they're physically able to travel, have them go to honorflight.org. If they're not, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to get them a virtual tour.
How cool for Veterans United for you to come on board and be the champion for this, because it really is bridging a huge gap. And you guys go and look at the what's the link, Hero Tours. Because I just watched the one that you came back with. You're out of Missouri, and you had everybody come back to it was at the airport after you guys had taken this whirlwind tour of the Vietnam veterans to the Vietnam Veteran Memorial, and it just looked amazing. I mean, these guys, I'm sure it's been 30, 40 years, 50 years, and they're getting to see this. And so then you got a bunch of people to come to the airport and say thank you. And that generation, especially with Vietnam, was the advent of people coming home and not being honored.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should say this isn't just me, by the way. There is a whole Honor Flight leadership that does Honor Flight. My role with Honor Flight is very small. We helped get it started, but there's a great leadership crew of Stephen, Sharon Paulsell, Mary Paulsell, a family there that has taken that on. Right now I work primarily on the Hero Tours because I know there's a need there for the veterans that aren't able to travel. But on Tuesday, actually it was Wednesday, at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, we flew on Wednesday to Washington, D.C. with a group of 71 Vietnam veterans. When they came home, they told us they were spat upon, and nobody really clapped. We had veterans who told us that they were not able to get a job after Vietnam because they were a Vietnam veteran on their application. The way our country treated our Vietnam veterans is really sad. But the ability now that Honor Flight is providing these veterans is phenomenal. Veterans United got together the funds for the flight and sent these veterans to Washington, D.C. to see their memorial. And after that moment, they said all it took was touching the names of the people who they had lost to make them feel better in their heart. And what a great experience. I mean, who wouldn't want to make a veteran, feel better about their service and let them know that, yes, their service was valued and that we appreciate their sacrifice that they gave to us. So it's been a tremendously rewarding experience just to travel with these heroes, to tell stories about these heroes, and to let them know that they aren't forgotten.
Oh, I can't imagine what that's like, because you're getting the behind the scenes of the trip on the way there, and they're going through their memories and getting excited. And Google Hangouts is really great for that, of getting that across. I saw you did something from the Eiffel Tower as well. But again, the power of actually being somewhere. You've heard a lot of people talk about being in any of these places that have a powerful memory. I mean, everything from Auschwitz to these different memorials and things like that. There's literally this incredible power that goes for it. And back on the Vietnam veterans, the other hard thing about them is that they came from the generation that their fathers came back from World War II and were just celebrated. There's movies. It was a huge thing. And then they come to this generation. And again, I think it's been that way. And I'm sure. I mean, I'd love to talk. Could we talk a little bit more about veterans of this generation now that they're coming back from our current war?
Absolutely. I would hope that our leaders are starting on the memorials for the War on Terror as well. We need not wait like we waited for the World War II memorial until these men and women are in their 80s and 90s before they're able to see it. We need to be started right now, raising money for that memorial so that they are able to see it within their lifetime. Want to describe just a brief moment for you that was really neat. We had 71 Vietnam Vietnam veterans who were coming home from their honor flight, and they're traveling in a bus from St. Louis, Missouri to Columbia, Missouri, which is where I live. And along the way, the public came out to stage bonfires on the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the bus. They had fireworks ready to go on all of the exits. 200, more than 200 motorcycles with American flags in the back surrounded the buses as they were going down the freeway, and as the bus would pass each exit, fireworks would go off. And I can't tell you what a phenomenal moment that was for a veteran who was spat upon when he came home from the Vietnam War, to finally get his due and to finally know that people truly valued his service. Just had to add that experience in there that the veterans got to able to see.
That's storytelling, folks, right there. I mean, that's the great thing about these experiences. Again, you're getting in there. You're doing this interesting combination of hurls and hangouts, by the way, because you're going and seeing people, but you're still bringing them together. So talk about. I know you've been around since the very start, right?
Since the very start. Matter of fact, the day after, I have to look at what exact day, but we had a hangout on the air like immediately after Google Plus launched. Our TV station, KOMU TV, very forward-thinking, the NBC affiliate in Columbia, Missouri, and I don't know that ask permission. It's easier sometimes to beg forgiveness than it is to ask permission. But
welcome to my world, yes.
Yeah, but we put it on the air because we had to open it up a hangout behind the scenes of a newscast, and what we found is that people from all over the world jumped on that hangout, and were really fascinating with seeing the inner workings of a production, a live television production studio. We chatted during the commercial breaks. We chatted during sound bites. It evolved to the point where we developed a whole entire show around hangouts and allowing the viewers to contribute to that conversation. And they were able to talk to me live during the broadcast. We had 2 earpieces. The viewers would talk to me in one ear, and then I would hear the broadcast in the other. And it was excellent for breaking news. Other stations could use it for breaking weather. We didn't get there as far as breaking weather yet, but the ability for the public to have a red phone, an immediate contact to their news anchor to correct them about a misspelling, to add an additional piece of information. We had a breaking news event once where there was a bank robbery. And I was trying to locate where this bank robbery was because I was reading the news and it was just coming in. And one of the viewers in the Hangout, I called them producers because really they were, because we were all crowdsourcing information via video chat. But one of the producers said, well, let me pull it up on my Google Maps. So the viewer pulled it up on their Google map, and we were able to take that map live during the newscast, because our producer wasn't able to pull it up in time. So it just goes to show you that you were able to crowdsource a lot of information via Hangouts live in real time, and all of the information that's provided you during a live broadcast, who's to say that has to come from staff at your particular brand? Viewers sometimes provide the best information.
Yeah, they can be these sort of unofficial employees of coming up with it too, which I love. And real quick, if you're just tuning in, you're watching and listening to the Mia Connect Power Chat. I'm Mia Voss. This is Sarah Hill. She's with Veterans United. I love this title, brand broadcaster and chief storyteller. Hey.
Hey.
I wanted to give you a quick story. So do you know Larry Fernelier, right?
Yes, I love Larry. Matter of fact, I do not cook. I burn water, as I regularly told him, but he still told me that was not an excuse for not coming on his show. What he has done with Hangouts is really, really unique, and how he's been able to boost his brand using human media, allowing people into his kitchen from Trinidad and Tobago. We were doing the newscast, and I would hear a rooster crow from him in Trinidad. So, just goes to show the value of global relationships and how it is extending the boundaries of what's possible. And matter of fact, there's another individual who's a frequent in Hangout, Hermine Nirwa, and I probably mispronounced her last name, but she has a great way to explain it, and she calls Hangouts and human media really global despatialization, and we are reducing the physical space between us using video chat. And I think that's a great example with Larry and what he's been able to do to bring people around and have them pull up a chair right next to him and see what he's doing. It's really, really cool.
So can I just tell you, we just dropped him off at the airport last night because Larry's been here in Colorado off and on for the last month. So I have been immersed in Larry Fernelier cooking, hanging out at our house, and he told us that story, actually, the rooster story. He said, ask Sarah if she remembers it. So you guys, I'm loving this combination of, one, having, getting that connection. Right, we would have never have connected with a chef in Trinidad had it not been for Google Hangouts. And then you kind of get to pull up your chair to the bar and you hear a rooster crowing and he's making a drink and we're learning about new food. He does shows, and then he brings in Aslan Bloor from England and they cook together. And Chef Dennis, I don't know if you know him, Chef Dennis Lidley is my partner in crime on the Food and Booze show, and we go to different restaurants, and hey, who doesn't love
food and booze, right? The two most important things. And too, when people talk about Hangouts and for instance what Larry does, some of the detractors will say, well, how is that different than Skype? How is that different from any of the other video chat platforms? And here's the difference, guys. You have the ability to find people like Larry. It's the crowdsourcing tool combined with a broadcast tower. That's what makes it unique. Skype, how many of your friends' Skype address do you know? Right? How many people are posting what information and content on Skype? They're not. How do you have on Skype the ability to find someone who has a cooking show, or find someone
using keywords, right?
Yeah, who has digital tools, and the combination of Google search to search for that. So the magic isn't just the video. The magic is the fact that you can crowdsource. You can search for those people who have your similar interests, and you can consume, and you can create content, and you can broadcast content at the same time.
Such a combo plate. It's amazing. It is overwhelming at first. We get that. We just returned. We went to ShiftCon, actually, and that was why I got to meet Chef Dennis in person as well, who is in the audience, and I just have to
Chef Dennis.
He says, I love this. Both of his parents were combat veterans. His father was an infantryman, and his mother was a frontline nurse. Amazing. And when we get done, go back through the comments because people are blowing up. And they are just going crazy over what you're saying, the work that you're doing. There's just a ton of people that are really, really resonating with this. Real quick,
well,
Peter
that's
Lund,
nice.
Isn't that great? I mean, hey, Power of Hangouts. Peter Lund's very moving story about U.S. veterans in UK. We've been privileged to hear wonderful stories of UK World War II veterans returning to France. Makes a big difference to help them being able to go there, indeed.
And Normandy. And thank you for their service, by the way, and for their sacrifice. Their sacrifice is not lost on us.
Here's another quick one, too. Adam has been coming in here. Hi, Adam. He did an honor flight video for the Chicago group back in June. So, yes, these are people that already know. And thanks for acknowledging, too. Absolutely. I've wanted to acknowledge for the work that you're doing. That's your participation, along with, obviously, a huge team of people that are putting this together and combining that.
We've got a great, I work with a great staff here, individuals who help produce and shooters as well, and they are doing phenomenal work, and it's a great to be able to do stories about veterans and military families.
Can you tell me real quick what the transition was from your broadcasting world and being more in the anchor world to working with the Veterans United? I'd love to hear that.
Absolutely. KLMU TV is a great group, and they're doing some really forward-thinking things. And I was in television for 20 years. So I had worked at the ABC affiliate in Springfield. I'd done radio, and I was at the CBS affiliate in Jefferson City, and then came to KLMU to University of Missouri School of Journalism, and then it's a teaching broadcast lab there, so we also have a teaching assignment in addition to our full-time duties at the TV station. And so after 20 years in television, that's a long time to be behind the camera and read, and I obviously was really fascinated with this new space of Hangouts and human media and how we might be able to use that to develop, more connections with people. And my beat at the TV station had always been about veterans and military families, so I did features called Sarah's Stories, and a lot of the stories that we did were about honor flights or different veterans things that were going on in the community. And United that they needed a storyteller and video storyteller, and I said, would I be able to try to scratch my itch and further develop some things that we could use with human media for a brand? They said absolutely. They were wanting to grow their Google marriage. Veterans United is a huge community partner. I'd encourage you to go to enhancedlives.com, enhancedlives.com, and you look at some of the things great work that our foundation is doing for veterans and families, and who wouldn't want to cover heroes? I mean, we get to hang out with heroes. That's like, the best demographic ever. Their stories, and to really educate the public about some of the benefits that are available to veterans, stories, and how we really need to honor their sacrifices. That it's not just up to veterans to tell other veterans, hey, we need to care for veterans. It's up to us civilians to recognize that the reason why our freedom is here is because they wrote out blank checks payable up to and including their lives.
And let's put it this way, no matter how you vote, these are still everyone. We have Veterans Day coming up, so that really, we have holidays coming up, so it really is important to honor that. And this is a great quote for that. Listen to this from One Great Life, whom I met last week. He's come to the shows, and he showed up, and he said, I woke up this morning wrapped in a blanket of freedom because a vet was willing to go there to stand guard, and internally grateful. I love that. I know Nicholas Cardat is out there saying, oorah. I don't know if I said that right, but I sure gave it.
And I think each of the branches, they say it differently, so yeah.
I think so too. That was the Mia version. I hope you liked it. Here's another one from Coach G. Global, the magic word. Thanks, Sarah Hill. Let's see what else. Yes, absolutely. So, and here's a great one. I love this from Hallie. I'm a retired Navy, and this brings me such joy to hear what Veterans United broadcasters do for the veterans. So that's when you're on. But what a dream job, though, to get to talk to these people and bring out the story. And we were talking about that offline too. About, is it the hashtag Boom, the show that you had? I saw a couple of those too.
Yeah, Boom is in Columbia, and we brought in some individuals to chat about how they were using entrepreneurship, how they were using new tools like Google Glass and other wearable technology. Startups, they were even brought in school children to educate them. Columbia, Missouri is in the Silicon Prairie, right? And there is a very lively startup community here, and so Boom is kind of the epicenter of entrepreneurship that they're wanting to share out.
Did you? And there's something, a view from the boot, I think was something that you did. I watched that as well. That was amazing. You got to hear these it's just personal stories, and I think the great thing about Hangouts too, Sarah, is that we're connecting them together as well, not only getting the message out, but connecting these veterans together, because I think the feeling of isolation is probably pretty prevalent.
Yes, and not only getting them together, but allowing them to have a voice in the conversation. So, for instance, we have a segment called Heroes Hangouts where we highlight a military charity, but then we also allow other veterans to come in and ask questions, other veterans to come in and to say thank you to some of these veterans and military families charities, like the Boot Campaign, there's a Stand Up for Heroes event. The list goes on and on. There are so many good organizations out there. They're doing some great work for veterans and military families, and so we're just using this platform in order to connect them with the public, not just to broadcast, not just to be a one-way to conversation, but to allow other individuals to pull up a chair behind us and also contribute to that conversation.
Definitely light a candle for a lot of things, of just the things that you didn't know, because I think we can get very isolated. One, there's movies and films portray things, or TV portrays things a certain way, and then it's kind of like breaking apart some of the myths that have to do with with being a veteran, coming back, what you're dealing with. Of course, we don't want to dig into it too much, but the suicide rate and things like that. So it's the empowerment to get them up and out of that feeling of isolated or that no one cares, because unfortunately, you're right, from the 60s on, it really has been, a little bit of a downer, or a little bit of an opposite support from our country.
Yeah, especially with how they're portrayed in TVs and movies. But, we have a real issue that civilians need to help counteract now, and that is all of the veterans who are transitioning back from the military. They are coming home at record rates, and we as a country need to be prepared with them for jobs and for housing. We need to be hiring our veterans. We need to, when, for instance, someone is putting their house up on the market, they need to check that box that, yes, they will accept a VA loan, a veteran's loan for a service member. I mean, all of these things are ways that we as civilians can help veterans who are transitioning. It's not just, a veteran's job to find their housing or to find their, a job. It's civilians need to be helping veterans.
And you feel like Veterans United is doing that too, of connecting the civilians and getting the awareness for us, and then connecting us with the programs, getting everybody where I can say to my friend, hey, I heard that there's a loan program here. So I think there's a good component about us on the civilian side knowing what it's all about too.
Yes, absolutely, and I think there's opportunities for growth in that in the coming years as well. There's this saying, not everyone can be a hero. Some of us have to stand on the curb and clap as they go by, and really that's what we're doing at Veterans United, and that's what Honor Flight is doing. That's what Hero Tours is doing. That's what we're trying to do with Heroes Hangouts. We're going to stand on the curb and we're going to clap as they go by.
So guys, I think this is also a great example, again, of what brands are doing to utilize Google Hangouts and just Google in general to connect people, come up with content, right, Sarah? You can come up with it easily, what you're doing. And I love that you're doing the combination. You're doing like what I'm doing here. Got my own little broadcast tower here in Denver.
Yeah, so you talk about that, and I'm sure you probably, perhaps you've shared in previous episodes, but talk about your setup there. I would love if you would pan the camera and show us. I mean, it doesn't have to be
behind the curtain.
Expensive. I want to see behind the curtain. Yes, I do.
It's kind of fun. So we've got, what, you guys, I haven't acknowledged who's over here. Does anybody know who's over here? That's Bob Voss. That is my tripod cat who he loved to sit in grass. He just came home. He recently passed away. He just came home in his box. So I sit him in this fake grass over here. Everybody knows Bob. I just have like a little setup. I love my Yay Wine sign. I don't always put that out, but I got that at TEDx a couple weeks ago. Just like a little, I've got my Chromecast. I've got you here, and then another, and then another screen here, my thing here. I've got my coffee and my microphone, and that's what it's all about. I do have people that help me on the sidelines, which is great, especially when I have really large panels. And then I do have my little backdrop. Yay.
Yeah.
That just goes.
So tell people where you got that.
That is from Customized Walls by Lori Leisure, which I absolutely love. When I started, Sarah, I started off very simply in my living room with no backdrop. I didn't have the Blue Yeti. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I
Yeti microphone.
My Blue Yeti.
Microphones are great. This is just a Logitech headset as well. Not expensive, probably $50 or so. There are all kinds of microphones that are out there. There's even a Heil mic that has a USB port that you can put up on a mic stand and have a regular mic that way. But this isn't expensive stuff at all. Broadcast equipment is no longer expensive. Bandwidth, you might find it to be the most difficult thing to curate, especially if you don't live in an urban area. A lot of people think they need to buy this huge, expensive camera or broadcast camera in order to use it for Hangouts. In reality, there's very little difference to be told from a regular webcam and a big HD broadcast camera. In fact, you need other voodoo to get your broadcast camera in a Hangout, like SD cards and Blackmagic Express and things like that. So real consumer-grade webcam is controlled by how much bandwidth you have. So if you have great bandwidth, you're going to look great, whether it's on a consumer-grade webcam or on a broadcast camera. So what kind of webcam do you use? I use a Logitech, and I'm right now I'm just on my iMac.
Right.
But
Okay, so I just have to tell you, everybody in the audience is mad at me now because I had you white box the whole time, and they so they couldn't see. So let me. Okay, you guys, really, if you want to see it, yeah, there's my cereal.
Are those
Here's more.
Cheerios?
Yeah,
Cheerio?
that is my flax cereal. I'm being good. Here's my Mickey Mouse Club. Here's Bob Voss, and then we've got little Chromecast, my little setup here. I'm hearing a little bit of echo, but I think we're still good. Here's Nazim's note. Mia, you're in the blue box. See that? See how I get in trouble with my audience, but they're forgiving. So it's all good. So
that's great. Well, I was looking to see if I had mine is on my iMac, so I can't turn you around and show you. But I've got a desk in my room. It's on the other side of my office. I probably can't show you, but these are some of our projects that we're working on our whiteboard. And then this is my treadmill desk. Do you guys see it right there?
Oh, I saw you posted about that.
Yeah.
And you guys, we will post all the links, by the way, so you can see what it is. But I love that, Sarah. Okay.
Yeah, so just a couple shelves and some peach cans are actually holding it up. And so there it is. I do what's called warking, W-A-R-K-I-N-G. We walk and we work at the same time here at Veterans United. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now you guys got to see, that's behind the, what's behind the screen. That was it. Yeah, so that's the great thing. That's the great thing is that you can do this. We have it set up. I usually have a cat running around. My other cat, Lily. I got a sleeping, snoring beagle over here, and it's just for me. It's just this really, really great environment that I just GSD, get stuff done. I cleaned it up for you guys because you know what I usually say when I say that. So.
In the early days of Hangouts, that's what people were doing. They were giving each other tours of their homes. I'll never forget a gentleman in France, and I was just floored by the level of detail and moldings in French homes. I mean, people were going in New Zealand and were saying, show me your bathroom. What does a bathroom look like, in New Zealand? It was like all of a sudden this new portal to the world had been opened that we were able to share those kind of things.
I love it. Show me what a bathroom looks like in New Zealand.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And it actually did look, a little bit different, but it is fascinating. Or when you have someone join your Hangout from the Middle East and you're able to ask them questions about their dress and about their culture and you're able to see them interact from their families. I mean, this really has opened up, another world to people with finally being, it's like the blinders have been taken off of social media, right?
It really is, and sort of the formality of it, everybody felt like they had to, speak the same way, and you got the teleprompter and the whole thing. Yes, you want to have, and now you guys always see it, I always show up all my copious notes that I get, so that is what I have, but I love letting, like that, showing the house. I mean, we have I'm sure you have the same thing. Larry would, you'd hear his chicken crow. Nazim would pan and show us pictures of the Italian countryside. Just all of these different friends, friends in England, friends in really cool places that we want to go to, right?
Yeah, and Pio del Cin's hotel in Italy is amazing. All of the different corners of the world. Who wouldn't want to hang out with someone in Italy?
Well, listen, we need to make a pact that we're going to go to Pio's and drink Prosecco.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, fist bump on that, Sarah.
All right, fist bump, yes.
Pio, we're coming at you. I haven't talked to him in a while, so let's both reach out to him, too. Listen, we've got a couple other comments. Let's pull some in here, too. Let's see. Yasin, Yasin always posts great. Oh, see now, look at how goofy. Here, watch this. There you go.
There you go.
Yes, please post pictures. Yes, please. He posts a ton of great pictures. Nazim and his wife Betty did one from the top of I would say the Duomo was amazing. Catherine loves the reel. Hold on, Cheryl Deuce loves that you're holding up cans.
Yes, but I should mention that they are light peach cans because you can't use heavy syrup peach cans on your treadmill desk. It just doesn't compute. So those are light peaches, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Peter says, breaking news, Mia's going to run our HOA from a space station.
Yay!
I don't know, Sarah.
They do hangouts from there, and I can give you the NASA contact. It's pretty fascinating just to talk about, how they go to the bathroom. Those are some of the questions that the kids asked. But
he did. I love that. The kid, they had the ones of like, what's the zero gravity, this and that, and then they got to the real stuff, which What's it like to go potty in space?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody wants to know that, right? But that's some of the things that it being a face-to-face interactive experience. What kid would get to talk to an astronaut, much less live from the International Space Station, or even live from the Kennedy Space Center or something like that?
Oh.
I mean, it just brings up a whole new layer of opportunity for the classroom as well.
And I have to encourage everyone too. I say reach out, and yes, I'd love the NASA contact. I'm just saying.
Sure.
I say reach out to people. You're talking about Temple Grandin, and I interviewed her. She invited Greg and I to her speech at the Veterans Medical Association, and she was very open to it. So I really encourage anyone who's thinking about doing a show or even reaching out to say, hey, would you want to connect with me and doing Google Hangout? People love to show what their environment is and what it is that fires them up.
Yeah, everybody has something that they have the share, and why should it be a one-way conversation? Really, broadcasting is not a very good description for what you need to be doing. You need to be doing multicasting, where you're not just talking, allowing other people to share, like you do, Mia, with bringing on comments and allowing them to steer and guide the conversation.
And they do, and this is what's great. We talked about, I think we had a comment saying that one of the ways to gauge it is the return. And I do want to give a quick shout out. There's a guy named Bojan JRB. I have him in over 40 circles. I use Circloscope to gauge how many times people come back to my show. So that's my
great. 40 really circles.
Yeah, because that means he showed up to a lot of my shows, said yes. He may not always comment. I also have people, the Backpack Crazy Circle, that's the backpack, are the people that comment. So that's what's really fun for me is like,
yeah,
man, I get to see that. So
yeah, and you're combining not only human but also text-based social in one thing, which is great. That there are certain use cases for both. Not saying that text-based social isn't a good way to interact. When you combine them both, it just amplifies everything. It's a great example.
It's a little poo-poo platter of fun. That's where I'm putting it. And I'm gonna do one more comment because I think this is such a great closing for you for what you're doing. There we go. Support may think it's a small gesture just to thank a veteran for their service, but I know it always brightens my Father's Day when someone says thanks for his service. So don't be shy. Say hi. Is that not the best? That's from Walter Simpson.
Yeah, that is really Walter. That's awesome. I don't know if you're a veteran, but you are. If you are, thank you for your service, and that's a great way to look at it.
I almost feel like we just throw down the mic, walk off the stage.
That's right. You got it.
All right, so we're going to segue, and you haven't seen this, but what's on the bottom, Sarah? Could you please show us?
What's on what am I sitting on?
No, what's on the bottom of you? Stand up. Let's
okay.
Jeans on.
Yeah, I have jeans on, but look, you can probably see I'm sitting on a furry ball. Can you see that?
Wait, move out of the way. We got to see this.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, stop.
You see it? So it's a furry ball. It's like this, I don't know. It's an exercise ball that is covered in fur, right?
Oh, you guys, I gotta get one of those.
I'm telling you.
Holy furry ball.
Yeah, it's not a furry ball. So that and also Google Glass. So wearable computer for your face. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. We use it experimenting with virtual tours for real estate agents so that military members, when they're deployed or whatever, would still have the ability to experience a live virtual tour. People can walk through the home. They can turn the faucets and see if they squeak. They can open doors. They can interact with their surroundings better than just watching a video or a still picture. So that's some of the ways that we are using Google Glass. Google has disabled Hangouts on Glass, which we would love if they brought it back. But there are ways to get around it. Yeah.
Yep. I'm just saying I'm with you, sister, because that is one thing I'd love to get. I would get Google Glass once they do the Hangouts. I mean, how fun would that be to not even have to worry about? I mean, I feel like that's what it's truly made for, are these Hangouts when you say, do you see what I'm seeing? And right now you could see, all the stuff around me. So
right. When they were enabled, I was walking through an airport in D.C. and having a video chat with other individuals from around the country. For C-commerce is going to be very interesting to see how brands use this, because via live video, they are then able to service not only in-person customers, but online customers as well.
Sure.
People come into their store, they can service them, but because this is mobile and because they have the ability to do video chat, they can also service people who want to place orders online too. So could it make our businesses more productive? I think it might. I think instead of when you go into stores, you see people with an iPad checking you in or hostess, in the future, who knows, it might be on their watch as a wearable or on us as well.
I think it's really, really close to that.
I don't have it
sure.
on because the conduction thing does weird things with the headset, but yeah.
I just want to let you know, I actually think that Adam Music ordered to go too. He thinks that's his cat that's been missing, that what you're sitting on, or his dog that's been missing since 1993.
It might have. It might have. That was when I graduated college, so you're probably right, yeah.
she took it. Listen, you guys, look for a furry ball for me to be sitting on. I'm inspired by that. I gotta tell you, I've left everything. I'm gonna close with my takeaway. Sit on to really do my whole office. That's fantastic. Listen, you guys, thank you so much for the comments. What we're going to do now is we're going to ask Sarah what she's bat crap crazy about. So tell us what you're bat crap crazy about.
I'm bat crap crazy about human media and the ability to connect with people face to face and the power that holds for us to develop deeper relationships. I'd like to give a shout out to Chad Lafarge. He is a Navy veteran and a Hangout producer who does amazing work. Chad, we'd just like to thank you for your service to our country and also your service to other people in Hangouts.
And I'm going to give him this because he gets that too. That is fantastic. Now give us some calls to action. And guys, we are going to post these links. We talked about so many great things. So Sarah and I will post those in there too. But what's a couple of calls to action for us, Sarah?
Calls to action. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be your own broadcaster. Step out, explore those free digital tools. Join Hangouts, host Hangouts. Increase your digital literacy and then use that to amplify your brand. Social is great, but face-to-face human media is even greater.
Create great content. I'm telling you, you don't have to start it with having this big audience, right? I mean, you can even do it YouTube Live and make it private, and then you can bust that out onto your YouTube channel and just creating content, creating some kind of context for yourself and your brand and your message.
Every time you create content, it creates juice, Google juice for SEO, and we are all concerned. So video content, GIFs, thing links, interactive pieces of material, all those are things that are discoverable in search, and we need to be keeping them of not just what's important for what people will watch, but also what's important for people to discover in terms of SEO.
Google juice, people. Come on.
Google juice. Everything you create creates Google juice.
Powerful, powerful broadcasting tool. So, guys, that's it. This is Sarah Hill. Please go and circle her because you should already. And Veterans United also.
Veterans United. Veterans United Homelands.
Exactly. So we're going to put that in there. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Mia Voss. My Bat Crap Crazy is going to be the people from ShiftCon, which was the Eco Wellness Conference I went to last week. Talk about the combination of the Hurl, the Hangout Real Life, and then doing Hangouts. We were able to get a lot of people fired up about Hangouts and then just connect with them in real life too. So I love the combo plate, people. That's just me.
Thank you for the opportunity, and hats off to all that you do, and what great viewers you have to recognize the sacrifice of those veterans. That's pretty cool. So thanks to everyone who's watching. Much appreciated for the opportunity to share.
Thank you so much. Love what you do. All right, everyone. We'll see you later. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. I show a picture, it's a picture of Lady Gaga who has a unicorn on her head with a broadcast tower. C-commerce is this way, e-commerce is that way, social media and human media and this great animal that we get to connect. Then when you bring in the layer of e-commerce into video chat, you really have what's called C-commerce, where you are conducting business, not via a text-based shopping cart, where you are doing business and receiving services or providing services face-to-face. And that's that new layer of C-commerce that is coming into the fold, and businesses like Veterans United are using that eye contact to develop face-to-face connections. So that's a very short explanation. There's science behind the fact that communicating with people face-to-face is superior than hiding behind an avatar. And we have studies from Cornell University that shows that eye contact increases brand trust by 16%. They actually did a study with cereal boxes. There's also another study out there from the Scientific American that shows that eye contact reduces hostilities online. And you probably see that, Mia.
Listen, it's all about you, girlfriend. I've, like I said, we were going to talk about human media, C media, again, Veterans United. So let's jump in. Let's start where you want to start, and we'll go from there because I'm loving all the connections that you've made between all three of these.
Great, yeah, so two concepts just to introduce if people aren't familiar with: human media and then C-commerce as well. Human media is what we are doing right now. We are connecting face-to-face via a video chat platform. The unique thing about Google Plus is that you have a combination of a broadcast tower right in the middle of a social network. So other social networks, they're text-based, right? Twitter and Facebook, we communicate behind avatars and behind profile pictures. But the unique thing about Google Plus and Hangouts is that you have the ability to have a living, breathing human relationship with people. And when Google Plus first came out, a lot of people didn't understand that it wasn't a social media network, just a social media network. It was a human media network where we had the ability to communicate face-to-face, where we had the ability to broadcast, and we also had the ability to create Google Juice for search. So this is an animal unlike any other animal that people are familiar with. Matter of fact, when I do presentation.
So are you ready for it? Let's see. We've got Dave Pipe. I love how he puts in what he's doing. Arvo from the Sussex Wagon. I love this. He's got his checklist. He's got spicy chicken pizza, coleslaw, cashews. I'm starving. Strike 6 Java juice, Russian spirit, British donuts. My brother, he's ready for you, Sarah.
Great. The spicy chicken pizza, I'm sure, will make my message a little bit more palatable.
That's what I was thinking. Now, this is a long one, so please go back and read it. Abdelwad. I love what she says in this. I know it's too long for you to see, but she goes, this event is more than a success. It's a fruit that symbolizes a strong and absolute joy. And just talking about bringing everybody together. She's the power of internet from her country. So thank you for that. Wish we could do longer comments. Now, this is one of my new girl crushes, too. This is Esther Rundall, and I met her at ShiftCon. Sending you vibes as you get ready for your show. Must take a lot of work, but this is why I put this up. My son just put a rock in the laundry, so I didn't need to interrupt that situation.
Oh, no.
Go, girlfriend. She is wonderful, by the way. This is Emmanuel Yamin. This is his first time, so let's welcome him for his first time on the show. We always love newbies here on the Media Connect Power Chat. My brother, you know I love the clapper. Guess what? I've been sitting in the green room for about 10 minutes with this lovely lady. Look at her. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I was just telling Sarah that when I have a guest on, especially someone that I've been following for a while, I really amp up the game and semi-stalk them the week throughout. And so I pretty much have this ginormous girl crush on Sarah more than I thought.
The feeling is mutual. Appreciate you having me here. Anxious.
Yes. I didn't want to have any guests because it's going to be so rich that we just need to have you. There's so many things we're going to talk about. Human media, C media, Veterans United, the Hero Tours. You've been doing some really cool things this week, right?
We have, yes. We're a little tired, so have some bags under my eyes, but it's all for a good cause.
It's looking good, definitely. Listen, in case you guys are wondering, what's missing? Throw it in the comments. What do you think is missing from me? Because it's Google, and I turned on my lower third, and no tiara. So I might bust out my fake one. I feel a little weird, so bear with me. But guys, what I'm going to do is get to the backpack, because you know I love Nazim. Apparently, they're having some flooding problems in Genoa, so hopefully he's able to watch this here. So I'm glad she's here today. And let's see what else. David Kutcher says, Sarah Hill and Mia Voss.
Hey, David Kutcher. He has helped me out so much.
Has he?
He
Oh,
has done. He does great work, and we connected via a help out. So absolutely.
see, the power, telling you the power of the help outs and the hangouts. Ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner for Nicholas Cardot. I've got him in here somewhere. He says, no, Tiara. Oh, yep, he guessed it. Your Tiara. I feel weird. Let's see if we have Debbie Davis said that the backpack is circling. Good morning, all. Jamal Asi, good to see you, too. And one more is from Catherine. Hey, everybody, she's eating brekkie in front of the computer this morning. So don't you love this about Hangout, Sarah? This is like everybody getting their stuff, their GSD, getting stuff done, and listening or watching Hangouts.
The global confluence of information, and it's great to see and hear all of you. Big high fives to all of you this morning.
I know, right? Everybody like running through. We need just to run through with our hand through it, too. So